I don't think there are any exceptions to that rule. I think they're just the two cases which can happen, I believe. But in all honesty, the only Crusades I've encountered are where whoever contributed the most got the title. Apparently there's a better court chaplain. 20. This guy's not... Does this guy have any land? Oh, he just has a bishopric, so I don't care. Sometimes it's like, because I have this guy here who's an important bishop, like an important vassal. If it had been him, I wouldn't want to like piss him off, because then he might, you know, not like me and revolt or something. Oh, did I revoke this title? I didn't realise I'd done that. Yeah, I just forget things like that as I go about. Anyway, Duchy of Benevento. Benevent, fuck it, I don't know. Not my job to know. I don't even have a job, see, so that's fine. But now he has that. And then after the Crusade, everyone's going to be weak, because it looks like the Catholics are going to lose. That's when we're going to attack the papacy, because we have a claim to this castle here. Because like, if you look at the visual, all this, the King of Sicily, because I'm the King of Sicily, I have a claim to all of that. Anyone in that land should be my vassal, apparently. That's like the idea. And this is in my land, but it's also under this duke, so that's the duke. Anyone in this territory should be a vassal of the duke, I guess is how it works. So I can attack them, I can press his claim, make him like me more, and also, you know, make my nation stronger by a county. But I'm just going to do it to make him like me more. Oh, and the Byzantines are in a civil war. Again, they have these quite often, to be honest. You know, I like the fact that there's this powerful, deadly faction. You know, the Sultans of Rome have sort of been pushing on them. You know, they're driving them back, so that's the perfect time for a civil war, isn't it? There's also the I can't remember if it's the Kingdom of Crete. Oh no, Crete's part of the Kingdom of Greece. I think it was on one of the mods I had where the Kingdom of Crete, like Crete could become not Crete, why do I keep saying Cyprus even? That is Cyprus, I don't know why I kept saying Crete. Crete's like over here, I think this is Crete. Yeah, that's Crete. Yeah, Cyprus could become its own kingdom. Heathens are lost prestige. So there's nothing you can do about some of these events, like that just happened. It's not really good. But because of my location, I can plan to kind of spread out across the Mediterranean, like perhaps attack Genoa. Was it? I don't know. It's one of the merchant republics. I'm gonna say it's Genoa or something like that. But I'm gonna attack like them, and that fracture I see. Have they? Yeah. Ah, they're in a league war of independence, which means that if I'm really quick, I can conquer them. Like, destroy them. The King of France is my ally, but he probably won't join me in the war because he doesn't like me that much. Probably send him a gift at one point. But I could always send my army back on Crusade and just like gain some more strength. Like, see if I can get the Crusader trait, because it is a pretty good trait. But then again, this is personal wealth, and personal wealth is clearly the most important thing. It's a holy war for Tunisia. This is gonna be like the Prague Spring. I don't know why I said Prague Spring, and then the oh, I forget what it's called. All those like revolts they had in Tunisia, they got rid of Gaddafi stuff. We're gonna go in there. That's where we're heading. Except at the moment, it's, you know, like Middle Ages, so it's owned by Hafiz, whatever you say that name. It's hardly relevant. We're going to destroy him without mercy. But we gotta be quick, because if his war against his liege ends, then our war ends too. Like, and we lose. We don't really lose, but like, you know, it's like a draw, so I don't get the land. If you lose the war, you have to like pay reparations, which I've had them like reparations can be pretty bad. It's like a one-time payment though, but it can be like really expensive, and it can completely bankrupt you. So it's good to not lose wars. Oh, and there's a peasants revolt here. I don't give a shit, to be honest. Sure, do what you like, peasants. I could really not care less. I mean, I should probably go and like. Oh wait, this place is he's Catholic, but this place is Orthodox Christian. Oh well, I'll sort that out later once the Catholic heresy's been gotten rid of. So I'm gonna go and convert the people here to Catholics. I probably should clear that mess up, but I'm not going to because I don't actually care enough. Instead, I'm going to spend my money in creating a new duchy. So now I have 2 duchy titles, I think. Yeah, Duchy of Apuli and oh no, I have 3. Where's this duchy? Oh, Salerno or whatever you say that. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a new one here. So I'm gonna invite a noble to court. There we go, court here, and I'm just gonna randomly give this guy some land because you know I'm just such a nice person. And then that's this duchy. So yeah, I'm just generously giving people land. I also noticed the church doesn't appear to like me very. Like I just saw all the bishops seem to hate me. I don't know what my vassals' opinion of me are. I don't really care about barons. It's just dukes and stuff. So yeah, the dukes will like me. The Prince Archbishop doesn't, and he certainly likes the Pope more than me. But he doesn't like the Pope very much. Let's give him an honorary title. And I can send my priest there later to improve his relations with me. And then I'm going to take the fleet across to Tunisia. I'll come back for the rest of those soldiers later. Apparently I may need to improve my ports, because I really don't have enough ships for my men. Best Marshal. Boom. Again, hopefully this war will be pretty easy because they're like already fighting their liege. Oh, and they're winning too. That's good. Because if an independence war, who's even in this? I guess are these factions involved in it? Looks like they are. That's one of them. This is. I don't really know. It doesn't look like many. Oh, but I guess these guys are probably fighting in their jihad for Jerusalem and also in the Crusade. That crusade is clearly going to take a look like that's good for Jerusalem because you know all of the Islamic troops are going to go here to try and fend off the Crusades, which they're doing pretty successfully. So the Crusades were a minus 34 war score. As far as I'm aware on this game, the Crusades always seem to fail miserably. Like it seems pretty rare to me that the Crusades do anything. In fact, on one of my times playing, I went from the start, and the Islamic factions overtook all of Spain, and then France had a civil war, and they took over all of France. So we just had one big faction from like France, Spain, and this like Morocco area, just one big faction, and then like the Mongol hordes came in over the Orthodox faction and were stopped by Poland and Hungary. And then there was Islamic factions on the island of Sicily, like on like this boot bit of Italy. So the Catholics were just like completely hemmed in this tiny area, and like they had a bit of like I think Sweden became pagan. So it was Norway, Denmark, the Holy Roman Empire, Poland, Hungary, and you know England, Scotland, and Ireland were the only Catholic factions remaining, and the rest were just completely wiped out by like the pagan Mongols and the Islamic factions. That was a fun game, but the Crusades, that was one of the few times when there was a successful crusade because we took back half of France. But I mean, usually the Crusades, as far as I can see on this game, fail quite badly, which kind of represents what happened in real life. Because I think besides from the first Crusade where they took like Jerusalem, most of them failed. As far as I remember, at least quite a few of them. Here, I'm gonna not like assault the walls. I'm just gonna wait because their armies are clearly gonna be busy fighting. And I lost the trait ill. I'm still wounded though. That's a pain. The trait usually goes away faster, I thought. And look, the papacy has 1,000 men now. So what I noticed with the Crusaders, they start off with like these armies of like 14,000 men. And then you notice, because of the if you're in enemy territory, you get like those resources here. You can see the supply, and you get attrition. So if you're in a territory which can't support you, men start dying to starvation. But in your own territory, you get more supplies than a neutral faction. A neutral faction or an ally gets less supplies than you do, and an enemy gets even less. I'm not winning this guy. Like if I was invading the Byzantines, they might get like 20 supply here, but I might only get 10. Something. So that's kind of. That's quite a good thing to add actually, because it makes sense. But it does mean that when you're invading, like, if you can't take the territories quickly, your men will just start dying off. So that's why the Crusaders have like 700 men and 5,000 men, and then these Islamic factions have like, actually they're pretty weak now actually. Yeah, I think everyone's just weak. Cause oh no, look, 11,000 men. That's fine. But yeah, see, they can support 11,000 men there because there's no skull, but I would only be able to support 9,000. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. I'm apparently losing this war. Oh, it's because he still controls Tunisia. As soon as I take a territory, that'll go away, and I'll like be winning the war. Hopefully, he's absolutely wiping the floor with his liege, along with, I guess, this guy and like probably these guys. The hardest faction to found this is Abyssinia, who don't get any, like, they can't hire any mercenaries, so that makes them difficult. And like you have the like Egypt or that faction, the big empire which is Egypt. They come from Egypt. The Egyptian. He's the Sultan of Egypt, really. So that's like, well, at least that's one of his titles. But yeah, they're basically. I always just call them Egypt because it's a lot simpler. But yeah, Egypt is just powerful as hell. Like it owns like practically the entirety of the Middle East, like North Africa and stuff. So they kick some butt. I'm gonna use that. So I'm kind of bankrupt now, but it doesn't matter too much because I can just get that money back. And then I'm going to go and get one on Hoon as well. So yeah, after this I can probably declare war on the Papacy and then Serbia. My empire will expand quickly from there. Yeah, so if you play as like Nubia, Axum, or Abyssinia, you just... Yeah, okay, I'll leave that down. You're also different religions, so they will just declare holy war on you, like the entire time, annihilate you. Like the Kingdom of Abyssinia as a whole would be all of this like area would not be able to hold off. So split into these. I lost just. Like it's I am not the law. That's like from what's it called? Names escape me. There's some film with the guy who played Rocky. Yeah, right, names escape me at the moment. It was Judge Dredd. They did a remake of that as well. But in Judge Dredd, he says, I am the law. So they kind of play a little joke there. At least I hope it is. Otherwise, I'm gonna look really stupid for saying it was. I'm pretty certain that's what that is. Shame that I lost the just trait because I wanted to pass that on to my children. I'm gonna educate them myself. I also really would like to have a son rather than a daughter. But yeah. I'm also going to give some money to France so they like me more because, if... I don't know enough. But I'm only like 10 short. Because if France likes, if your allies like you, they're more likely to go to war, help you in war than if they hate your guts. So if I can get him to like me a lot, then France is much more likely to aid me. Which is good, because I'm going to be taking on some pretty powerful factions down in the south. I'm probably just going to, with the Islamic factions, I'm just going to play on them. I'm going to be really cheap and then, play off their